So the headline here so far is that before Elon Musk bought it, Twitter wasn't so much a social media site as a honey trap operated by global intelligence agencies, including our own. One of the very first things Elon Musk did was fire all the spies who worked at Twitter. Then he fired a lot of other people too, including the entire PR department, the HR department, and a lot of other useless baggage who weren't helping the company do anything worth doing.
Imagine a world where a single tweet can shake economies, sway elections, or even spark revolutions. Social media has become one of the most powerful tools of our era. But what happens when one of the world's richest men, Elon Musk, decides to take control of a platform as influential as Twitter? Welcome to Veil of Time, where today we dive into Musk's acquisition of Twitter and its massive implications on free speech, democracy, and digital power. Is this the dawn of a new age for free expression, or a chilling reminder of corporate influence over our most public conversations? Section 1. Twitter before Musk, the role of moderation and censorship. Let's rewind a bit. Since its inception, Twitter has been more than just a platform. It has been a digital gathering space where movements were born, voices amplified, and conversations that would otherwise be marginalized found a global audience. From the Arab Spring to number Black Lives Matter, Twitter became a tool for social change, allowing voices from all walks of life to rise above the noise. However, with influence came scrutiny. The platform faced increasing demands from governments, organizations, and the public to moderate content. This balancing act, deciding what stays and what goes, became a central part of Twitter's identity. The platform struggled to define its role as a mediator, weighing freedom of expression against concerns of misinformation, hate speech, and incitement. One of the most controversial moments came in January 2021, when Twitter permanently suspended former US President Donald Trump's account following the Capitol riot on January 6. Trump had tweeted, calling on his supporters to stay peaceful and respect the law and our great men and women in blue. However, Twitter deemed his statements as carrying a risk of further incitement to violence. This decision ignited fierce debate over Twitter's role as a gatekeeper of information. Was it a responsible act of moderation, or was it censorship? The COVID-19 pandemic added another layer to this debate. With millions affected worldwide, Twitter began flagging and removing posts that contradicted public health guidelines. Supporters argued this was necessary to prevent the spread of harmful information. However, critics viewed it as an overreach, with Twitter assuming the role of an arbiter of truth. When did Twitter shift from being a social media platform to becoming an arbiter of what's true and what's not? This climate of increasing censorship set the stage for Musk's entry.
If like let's say, like it's more important to remember where was the lion, or where was the tribe that wants to kill my tribe, than where is the bush with berries.
Yes.
Like one's like a permanent negative outcome, and the other is like, well, I might go hungry. So meaning like there's an asymmetry in sort of involved asymmetry in negative versus positive stuff.
Section 2. Musk's vision and motivation. A new age of free speech. Enter Elon Musk. In 2022, Musk acquired Twitter with an ambitious vision. A self-proclaimed free speech absolutist, Musk was openly critical of Twitter's strict policies, vowing to reshape the platform into one that would prioritize open expression and allow for a wide range of perspectives. The acquisition, however, was not without its challenges. Musk purchased Twitter for a staggering $44 billion, a price that raised questions about the platform's true value. Was it worth the price tag, or had Musk overpaid? On his first day as Twitter's owner, Musk walked into Twitter headquarters carrying a bathroom sink, captioning it with, "Let that sink in." The gesture, humorous as it was, hinted at the sweeping changes Musk intended to bring. Behind the scenes, Musk found inefficiencies within Twitter's operations. He quickly implemented a restructuring that reduced nearly half of the workforce, believing the company's bloated structure hindered its potential for growth. The layoffs, combined with new initiatives like Twitter Blue and other monetization efforts, reflected Musk's belief that Twitter needed a radical overhaul to become financially sustainable. But as he slashed expenses, some questioned if this approach would compromise Twitter's functionality and its ability to innovate. Musk envisioned Twitter as the digital town square, where anyone, regardless of background or belief, could share their views. His goal was to lift restrictive moderation policies and foster an environment of open expression. Yet in an age where misinformation spreads rapidly, could Twitter truly support this level of freedom without consequences? Musk didn't just want to change Twitter's policies, he aimed for a complete transformation. Paid verification, new content policies, and leadership changes signaled his commitment to creating a sustainable platform driven by its users. Musk's acquisition was as much about reshaping Twitter's DNA as it was about his personal belief in free speech. However, implementing these ideals proved far more complex than he might have anticipated. Section 3. Post-acquisition: freedom or more control? The real drama began after Musk took over. With each policy change, the platform's direction under his leadership became a focal point of public debate. His outspoken style kept Twitter in the headlines, with every shift provoking mixed reactions. One of Musk's most challenging tests came when Twitter faced pressure from various governments worldwide. In Brazil, Twitter, now rebranded as X, temporarily blocked access at the demand of the country's Supreme Federal Court to suspend certain accounts. Similarly, the platform complied with content removal requests from countries like India and Turkey. These actions raised questions about Musk's commitment to free speech. Was Twitter still the bastion of open expression Musk had promised, or was it simply conforming to governmental demands? Under Musk's ownership, Twitter has also made controversial decisions regarding previously banned accounts. For some, reinstating these accounts represented a step toward a more open platform. For others, it was a concerning signal that the platform might become a breeding ground for harmful rhetoric. Musk's approach has consistently stirred the ongoing debate on the balance between freedom of expression and responsible platform use. Section 4. Historical context: corporate influence on public discourse. The story of Elon Musk and Twitter is about more than one man and one platform. It speaks to a broader issue of corporate influence over public discourse. Consider historical examples of media takeovers, like Jeff Bezos buying the Washington Post in 2013. Such acquisitions have always raised questions about corporate power and its impact on media integrity. However, Musk's purchase is unique because it centers on a social media platform, a place where public discourse is immediate, unfiltered, and influential on a global scale. Throughout history, control over media has often meant control over public perception. The more influence a platform like Twitter has over what we see and hear, the more control it wields over democratic processes. Musk's acquisition of Twitter begs the question: does corporate ownership bring us closer to or further from the ideals of free speech? Section 5. The current reality: what lies ahead for Twitter and social media? Elon Musk's vision for Twitter may have aimed to champion free speech, but the reality is layered with complexity. From the outside, Musk's emphasis on open dialogue and his commitment to reducing restrictive moderation might look like a bold move toward freedom of expression. However, the situation beneath the surface is more complicated, as the platform now grapples with pressures from diverse and often conflicting sources. Under Musk's leadership, Twitter finds itself at a crossroads where ideals meet reality. While Musk's policies have undoubtedly made the platform more permissive, they've also raised new issues. The decision to reinstate previously banned accounts was celebrated by some as a step toward inclusivity in public discourse. Yet for others, it was seen as a dangerous invitation for harmful and divisive voices to re-enter the public sphere. Supporters of Musk's vision argue that allowing all viewpoints to coexist on the platform encourages an honest, open society where people are free to choose what information they engage with. But detractors fear that unchecked speech on such a massive platform could enable misinformation, hate speech, and divisive narratives to flourish unchecked. Perhaps one of the most significant challenges Musk faces is compliance with international content regulations. Twitter operates on a global scale, serving users across diverse cultural, legal and political landscapes. Different countries have vastly different expectations for social media platforms, with some enforcing stringent content laws and others demanding the removal of information they consider sensitive. For example, after Musk's acquisition, Twitter found itself compelled to block access to certain accounts in Brazil following a directive from the country's Supreme Federal Court. The platform has also complied with content removal requests from governments in Turkey and India, each instance raising questions about Twitter's commitment to Musk's vision of free speech. How can a single platform remain a truly open space when governments around the world expect compliance with their specific demands? This tension raises a critical question. Can Twitter continue to be a space for open expression while balancing the demands of governments worldwide? The idea of a global town square is a noble one, yet implementing it is proving to be fraught with challenges. Countries like India, which has laws permitting the government to censor certain online content, or European nations with strict regulations on hate speech, put Twitter in a delicate position. If Twitter complies with these demands, it risks alienating users who feel that their freedom to express themselves is compromised. On the other hand, failing to comply could result in the platform facing legal consequences, or even being blocked entirely in certain regions. This balancing act of preserving freedom while respecting local laws reveals a deeper layer of complexity in Musk's pursuit of free speech. As we stand at this crossroads, one thing is certain: the battle for free speech isn't going away anytime soon. Whether Musk's leadership makes Twitter a champion of open dialogue or ushers in a new age of digital censorship, only time will tell.
For most of the traditional media companies, and made them more desperate to get clicks, to get attention. It's made them when they're in sort of a desperate state, they will then tend to really push headlines that get the most clicks, whether those headlines are accurate or not.